What we have here is a 2002 Jeep Liberty, limited edition sport, four-wheel drive, whatever you got. This is going to do the front brakes. My name is Russ Shaw, and this is the absolute beginner's guide to changing the front brake pads and rotors on the 02 Liberty here. This is 02 through 07, by the way. A couple of things to keep in mind. Watch this video all the way through before attempting this job, especially if you're an absolute beginner. The tools I use in the video, I don't list those out front because watch the video all the way through. I use a torque wrench. I use a professional mechanic torque wrench in this video as a demonstration of sorts. But I will put a link in the description to a click type torque wrench as well. And you might want to go online, watch some videos on how to use those. There's a little finesse to it. I like the digital adapter myself. Another thing is do one side at a time. Don't jack up your vehicle and start working on both sides. Do one side, finish that side, and then do the other side. I did the driver's side first, passenger side second. I shot it and edited it all together to be thorough, so that you as a beginner would know every little detail to doing this job. I don't just run through it like a lot of the professional mechanic shops do, or the folks selling parts. God bless them. And also, yeah, tools. You can also order some of the parts if you like in the description. These are from O'Reilly. It's just down the street, and they warranty their stuff, and it's easier to follow up on the warranty when you don't have to send boxes in the mail. Example of what you might spend. Got a good deal with O'Reilly. Just went down the old O'Reilly's down the street, and we got the ceramic pads, high quality stuff. I would recommend ceramic pads. They don't go bad as quickly. Cheap pads, you're just doing more work, and you don't want to do that. So we got two brake rotors, and this was 52, saved $15. They had a discount on that. She also saved another 10 bucks. So altogether she paid $129.92 after taxes and promotional savings of $22.65. And as you can see, I'm not in a shop. I'm out here in the yard, here at Shaw Gardens, right in front of the, right in the front yard here. Easy peasy. Demonstrate how your DIYers can do this themselves, really easy. And first, we have our decorative chalk block to chalk the back wheel. And just like that, brought a little of the garden out there with it. So, chalk block in place, jack up the vehicle. Got an old cardboard box I'm working with here. And this, I will show you, is where to put the jack. Right up in here, you got this nice little point. You could go here too. That's part of the frame. But we're gonna go, just to give you reference, there's your door. This directly underneath, and right about there, we're gonna get it up off the ground just a little bit, and then we'll set up our jack stand for safety. You always want to have a jack stand for safety. What I like to do is jack it up to where you can start to see the weight coming up off the tire. See that? You don't want to get it all the way up off the ground yet. You just want to get the weight off the tire, and then we're going to loosen these bolts. See, just like that. You want it just enough weight to where the wheel won't spin And again, safety first, all right? You always want to have the jack stand ready before you start taking stuff off. So we've got our jack stand in place, and we're gonna start taking these nuts off. Okay, so I underestimated how tall this vehicle is. It's a 4x4 with a lot of clearance. So I ended up putting these pieces of wood behind this part of the frame here, and there's like a circle here, and you can see, and then you line this up with the center of it, so you're centered, and then you can jack up the vehicle. Again, being this is the absolute beginner's video, you got your chalk block so you don't roll. We've jacked up the vehicle and a jack stand for safety. We have 3/4 inch. It fits over your lug nuts to loosen them up. And we're gonna pick them up. Yep, just like that. Go through, loosen each and every one, and then start taking them off. Once they're all loose, then we start taking them off. Now that the last one is loose, we're going to jack it up. And this time I got the jack stand placed there for safety. Now let's get this wheel off. And again, see that? It is spinning. Spinning, limited slip. And we'll loosen all these bolts up one by one, just like that. Last one is usually the toughest. Last one. It's always good to have these in a place where you're not going to lose them. And it's right there. And for safety, I just moved my jack stand under here. Looked a little more secure, more balanced. And we're gonna, next operation, remove this caliper. But first, we're going to turn the wheel so it's coming out this way, easier to reach. So you just want to not start it, but just get the wheel unlocked. And then spin the wheel towards the passenger side so that you can get that brake caliper. Spinning it towards the right. And then when you have it in the desired position, you can lock, pull out your key. All right, YouTube, next we're gonna unhook these bolts. You already loosened that one up. Pull straight up and they come loose. So we're gonna pull these out. Like that. We're gonna check these pins to see how lubricated they are. There's that. Just like that. Get these out of there. Set those aside. That's a nice place for them right there. All right, make sure these guys are a little loose and you don't want to mess with your seals too much. Just put my screwdriver right there and just wiggle it loose like this. You can also pull it back from here. That's an easy way to get that sucker loose. And once it's loose, it should just slide right off of there like that. Yep, these cheap brake pads, man, look at that. Just slide. That's some of the noise she's hearing. This stupid thing back here is got loose and is cutting into a rotor. Look at that. Look at that. Cheap brake pads. Should take these back, because look, they got good meat on them, but the other side did that too, but this side's really bad. Look at that. No wonder it's making a bunch of noise. So it's good to, once you got these out, inspect your pins. Make sure they free flow. It's nice and lubricated. That's good. This one is really good. Yep. Not bad at all. If you run it like that. So again, a good time to inspect your pins. These are pretty dry. I'm gonna re-grease these, clean them and re-grease them. But having them pulled out is a little easier to get to those bolts too, the back bolts. Kind of hang this guy up. You can also use a zip tie if you don't have a hanger wire. Kind of keeps it up and out of the way. Doesn't put a whole lot of stress on your brake lines. So we'll do that. So being I have to go up on this side, I hung this one up and out of the way. There we go. That comes loose. Pulling up on this side. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Goes. All right, so now that I got these loosened up a little, this is where we finagle the brake shoes out. That. Warped. We got a warped. Her whole steering wheel shakes, so that's warped rotor. And now that we got the brake pads out, I'm going to pull this off. Like that. Anyway, yeah, we're going to get this off so we can get the rotor out. And both those bolts come out. All right, now grab this off. We're going to remove the rotor. And just for fun, because I find it a little easier to work with, oops, backwards, we're going to put this back on, but not all the way, just as a holding place kind of bracket. And some of you may think I'm weird for doing this, but you'll see in a minute why it makes perfect sense. Cleaning up and putting in your clips here. A lot easier to reach and a lot easier to work with when they're right there, kind of mounted up, sort of. And easy to tackle. And I know I'm on the other side, getting lost footage from the other side, but this is where you also have a nice place to put your plunger and your brake caliper, so you can squeeze with that C-clamp your reset your caliper. See that? And that's where putting this back on, it just gives you a nice little workspace to not have to sweat squeezing that plunger back down. While you still have your brake caliper, you get out a C-clamp and put your old brake pad in there, and we're going to press that caliper down, the plunger. It's always good to pull that off there, because it's going to push the fluid back up into your reservoir here, so it's not a bad idea. And you just tighten it on down. You got this nice little resting spot until the caliper is fully compressed. And just about like that. There it is. And boom, this side done. And again, you just got a nice, easy little workspace. Boom. Just like that. All the Harbor Freight and everybody's been out of gloves, but thank God for Avon. My wife is an Avon representative, and she got me this box of gloves. So here's the old one, so you can kind of see how the new one goes in. I like to leave an old one on that side, and then, you know, pop out this one so you can tell how to do it. All right, so I slid this pin back in before I clean this up with my wire brush again, because I don't want to get any particles inside there. That would be bad. And here's a set, so you can see you got right hand and left hand side, and that's exactly how they go in. We put all these back, just kind of clip them over like that. It's kind of sloppy, but these are all popped back in like that. All right, and just double siding this so you know, and if you need to pause and study how these go in, you can do that, no problem. Just like that, bottom and top. Okay, so now we'll put our rotor in, which means we got to pull this guy off again, which is no problem. It's hand tight. Just I'm gonna have to let go of the camera because I don't want this to fall. So you got all your stuff in there, right? All right, so I've taken it off, set my bracket aside, and time to put the other rotor on. And here's the rotors. New, not warped rotors. Unboxing. Well, let's see if these are sealed. I like it when they come sealed in a bag. Back in the day, they used to come all oiled and lubricated. Look at that, they put it in a bag. Oh yeah, dry. Dry as a bone. That's always nice. I like the bag. I like it when they bag them. Bag them instead of grease them. That's good. Then, one-handed. See if I can do this one-handed, shall we? Oh yeah, like that. Boom. All right, and when rethreading, I like to start with a top bolt. You just kind of wiggle this around and line up that top bolt first. It's a lot easier. And then line up your bottom bolt and thread it in there. And we got the Brake Best Select Ceramics. Hardware included. Ooh, they all are wrapped. Look at that, like beef. I get the brake pad out of here like a nice cut of steak or something. And remember, if you have this little hook here, which makes noise when your brake pads get low, that's what it's designed to do. That always goes in the back. And this is where we put the lubrication on. And here's where you apply a little grease, just right on the ends here. Not too much, just lube up the ends. It slides on that track on the inside real nice. It's about like that. All right, from this angle, try and show you the easiest way to finagle this in here. Just like that. Kind of push it up in there and then slide in the bottom one. You try and do it evenly. Or, depending on which one's tighter, like that, and there it goes. Slides in there nice. Just like that. There you go. Boom. And no, I haven't forgotten about these guys. I'm going to give them some lubricant as well. So yeah, just like that on the end. Giving it a little spin there. Like that. Push it in, and then there it goes, sealed up. Boom. All right, so with 14mm bolts in hand, slide the brake caliper back up on here. Finagle it through here with your, whoa. Push the pin in. Line these pins up, there we go. Just pops right up on there. Slide that one down. There it goes. Just a nice little finagle right there. Put those back on. Boom. Sometimes it takes a little finesse to thread up them bolts. But you got this. You got this. No problem. You can kind of see better from this angle. As I'm threading, I'm kind of giving it a little wiggle so those threads line up. And there it goes, right threaded into place. And this is a handy little tool, a torque adapter. I'll put a link in the description if you'd like to purchase one of these from Amazon. And it tells you how much torque you're putting on your bolts. And we're going to do 20 to 25 pounds on those 14 millimeters right there. So that's what I torqued it to, 24.1. And it by default, you know, when you get to the highest torque, it records it. So that's the max torque. So yeah, you can set this to your desired torque, which is 85. Down to 85. And then it will beep when I get to 85. So 84.8. Boom, set. There we go. And you can buy a cheapo torque wrench as well, but I broke out the big, this has got to be 85, torque down to 85 foot-pounds, so here we go. $88.3. All right, put the wheel back on. There's the brand new beautiful brakes in there. Cinched these bolts down with the tire. Once, you know, again, just like you pulled it off, once you lower it just a little, you cinch these bolts down when the tire ain't spinning. I just lowered the vehicle. Got the old jack stand out. Crank them all down nice and tight. And then you release your jack. After you've pulled out the jack stand, of course. Please, if you found this video helpful, like and subscribe. Helps us out a ton. Putting up this content does take a tremendous amount of time. We appreciate it. It's the thanks that you could give us is to like and subscribe for making these here instructional videos. And you're all done. Boom. Don't forget to subscribe, and why not watch another video? Stick around.